Respect isn't inherited, can't be bought, begged, or won with a single impressive speech. It's like a fire that goes out the moment you stop feeding it with inner discipline, clarity of thought, and consistent action. The Stoics knew a simple, stark truth. True strength isn't found in a thirst for admiration or in loud declarations of one's own importance, but in living in such a way that even one's enemies reluctantly acknowledge your steadfastness. But there's a flip side to this truth. Respect erodes almost imperceptibly if you allow habits to take root in your life that gradually erode your character from within. It's precisely this invisibility that lies the main danger. Such habits don't burst into life suddenly. They become woven into everyday life thread by thread, becoming the norm and gradually erasing the image of a person trusted, listened to, and respected. That's why it's important to carefully examine which actions, repeated day after day, are slowly destroying respect for you, even if you're outwardly trying your best to maintain faith and control. Stoicism teaches that a person's greatest enemies hide not on the outside, but within, in their own weaknesses, which they themselves justify. Today, we'll examine 7 such habits, simple at first glance but destructive at their core, and see how they destroy respect, as well as how the philosophy of fortitude counters them. The first habit: complaining and perpetual dissatisfaction. The Stoics said, "It's not circumstances that trouble a person, but their attitude toward them." Complaining is always a hidden admission. The world controls you, not you it. When a person complains day after day about life, about people, about fate, or about the state, they thereby expose themselves as weak, dependent, and lacking an inner core. Their words convey a quiet denial of responsibility, as if anyone but themselves were to blame. But respect never coexists with complaint, because respect is the fruit of strength, while complaint is the fruit of weakness. A person who constantly complains resembles someone who daily displays their unhealed wounds to others, demanding that everyone touch and console them. But over time, people tire of this spectacle. Complaining doesn't heal, it poisons the very atmosphere around them. The Stoic understands that what happened to them may be painful, unfair, and difficult, but they have only one control: how they react. Maintain their dignity and find a solution, and they will earn respect. Choose endless whining, and even those closest to them will begin to see them not as a source of support, but as a source of weakness. Complaining also destroys respect because it devalues the words themselves. Someone accustomed to complaining ceases to be taken seriously. Everyone knows in advance that tomorrow they'll find another reason to complain. And even if their pain was once genuine, the habit of constant complaining erases the significance of everything said. Words become background noise, eventually ignored. Stoicism, instead of complaining, offers the practice of inner silence and a purposeful search for solutions. This silence is not flight or indifference, but the ability to digest an ordeal and learn from it. A person who doesn't complain, but takes action, inspires respect, even if their steps are small, for they express willpower, while complaining conveys only impotence. Imagine 2 people who have lost their jobs. The first spends days complaining about the injustice, blaming his boss, the government, and his family. The second accepts the fact and asks himself a single question: "What can I do today?" and takes action. His path may be difficult, but he will be the one people come to for advice and respect. After all, he showed strength where the other gave up. Complaining is an abdication of power over our own lives. And every time we indulge in it, we deal a small blow to our own authority. True fortitude lies not in never experiencing pain or disappointment, but in not allowing these feelings to become weapons against ourselves. The second habit: making promises without keeping them. Words only gain weight when backed by actions. The Stoics said, "Live so that your actions need no justification in words." But most people throw promises around like small change at the market. Easy to give, easy to forget, easy to justify. And every time a promise goes unfulfilled, respect for such a person dies a quiet but irreversible death. In the eyes of others, everything is extremely simple. If you said something and did it, you're reliable. If you said something and didn't do it, you're not. There are no shades or nuances here. Even if you justify it by circumstances, even if the reasons were perfectly valid, only one fact remains in people's memories: a promise that wasn't kept. That's why the Stoics taught us to guard our word and speak it only when we are firmly confident in our ability to keep it. When a person makes promises without thinking, they undermine their own authority with their own hands. Today they promise to help a friend, tomorrow to support a colleague, the day after to change their own habits. But none of these promises ever become reality. Over time, those around them begin to perceive their words as empty words. They may speak persuasively, they may swear and assure, but everyone has long since known nothing will follow through. Broken promises in small matters are especially destructive. They seem trivial, unworthy of attention, but it's precisely in these little things that people unerringly read someone else's character. They didn't show up on time when they promised. They forgot about a meeting despite nodding their head in agreement. They said tomorrow, but tomorrow never came, and respect begins to fade. People understand, if you don't keep your word in small matters, then you can't be trusted in big ones either. Stoicism demands inner rigor. Before making a promise, ask yourself, am I willing to sacrifice some of my strength, time, and life to fulfill this? If not, it's better to remain silent. A Stoic doesn't deceive himself or others with beautiful words. He speaks less than others, but his word is harder than stone. That's why his words are listened to and remembered for a long time. The third habit, excessive talkativeness. The Stoics valued words as highly as a warrior values his weapon. They knew that every word must be precise, necessary, and spoken at the right moment. But when a person talks too much, when they rush to fill every silence with the noise of their own voice, they thereby devalue themselves. Loquacity is the habit of squandering inner strength on the small change of empty words. The more meaningless words are spoken, the less weight remains in each individual word. Excessive talkativeness almost always reveals a hidden insecurity. Those who fear silence are actually afraid of being alone with themselves. They fill every pause with words because they lack the ability to maintain inner silence. But respect never springs from a vacuum. People listen to those who say little but to the point, those whose every word resonates with precision and weight. There's another danger of talkativeness. It inevitably breeds gossip and idle chatter. Someone who can't keep their mouth shut often blurts out unnecessary things, discusses others' mistakes, and comments on things that don't concern them at all. And then respect disappears even more rapidly, because trust dies when words become betrayal. Those who share other secrets too easily are no longer sought for advice and are no longer trusted with their deepest secrets. Stoicism teaches the exact opposite. Guard your tongue as carefully as a warrior guards his sword. He who knows how to remain silent always seems stronger. His words are rare but meaningful. People await them, knowing he speaks not for the sake of noise, but for the essence. Such a person inspires respect even without long speeches. His silence becomes a sign of strength, and his rare speech an event listened to with special attention. This is very noticeable in everyday life. We constantly encounter people who talk non-stop about the weather, the news, the fates of others, wasting words as if their supply were endless. But that's precisely why their words are worthless. Conversely, we encounter those who speak rarely, yet their every word is worth remembering and repeating. Respect naturally gravitates toward the latter. Their voices always convey an inner discipline. Habit 4. Seeking approval. There's nothing more destructive to respect than an insatiable thirst to please everyone. The Stoics argued that those who seek applause become slaves to the crowd. A person dependent on the opinions of others loses their own inner freedom. They look outward, not inward, seeking glances, seeking praise, and becoming anxious if they're suddenly overlooked. And gradually, those around them lose their respect, as it becomes clear that their decisions belong not to them, but to those around them at the moment. The thirst for approval turns a person into an actor. They say what others want to hear, act in a way that suits the majority. They laugh even when it's not funny, agree even when disagreement rages within. Outwardly, this may pass for friendliness, but in reality, it's a weakness that everyone around them can sense. Those who constantly seek others' applause are never taken seriously, because respect is born of firmness, not obsequiousness. Stoicism teaches that truth is more valuable than praise. If you do the right thing, others' approval simply doesn't matter. And if you do the wrong thing, no amount of praise will make you worthy. Therefore, a Stoic focuses not on the crowd, but on their own understanding of goodness, justice, and order. Such a person is capable of going against the majority, and this is precisely what earns them true respect. People see in them the core they often lack themselves. The pursuit of approval is also dangerous because it breeds endless anxiety. If you're praised today, you're happy. If you're left unnoticed tomorrow, you're anxious. If you're criticized the day after tomorrow, you're despairing. You become a plaything in the hands of others, living not your own life, but merely a reflection of their reactions. It's impossible to respect such a person, because respect requires independence. The opposite is the figure of a truly self-confident person. They are able to listen to criticism without being crushed by it, able to accept praise without becoming enslaved to it. Their decisions are born from inner conviction, not from fear of rejection. And it is precisely this inner independence that commands respect, even from those who categorically disagree with them. Habit 5. Temper and loss of control. No other weakness destroys respect as quickly as the inability to control oneself. The Stoics asserted, "Strong is not the one who conquers others, but the one who conquers oneself." A temper turns a person into a slave to their own emotions. One careless word, glance, or trivial misstep is enough for them to lose face, explode with anger, and unleash a torrent of words they will later regret. And all the respect accumulated over years is destroyed in a matter of minutes. In the eyes of others, a hot-tempered person always appears weak. Even if they shout loudly, even if their words sound menacing, everyone can see clearly. They are controlled by their emotions. And it is impossible to truly respect someone who is controlled. Respect is born not from the power of shouting, but from the power of silence. This is precisely why the Stoics valued calm and prudence immeasurably more than any display of anger. A short temper also kills respect because no one feels safe around such a person. People become cautious, choosing every word carefully, and treading around them as if on thin ice. But respect is impossible where fear has taken root. Fear breeds distance, while respect is always born of trust. A person who regularly loses control of themselves ultimately finds themselves alone. Their words and actions only evoke weariness and rejection. Stoicism teaches us to perceive any provocation as a challenge, not a personal insult, but a test of inner strength. Someone who can remain calm even under attack inspires far more respect than someone who responds with blow for blow. Their silence or a short, restrained phrase speaks louder than any shout. Their calm gaze carries more weight than a face contorted with anger. Another danger of irascibility is that it imperceptibly becomes a habit. A person accustomed to reacting with anger increasingly seeks an excuse to explode. Their character gradually becomes like dry grass, ready to burst into flames at the slightest spark. And then respect vanishes completely. Those around them no longer see strength in them, but chronic instability. Self-control is already a victory. Victory over circumstances, over the enemy, over one's own weakness. A person who remains calm when everyone around them is losing control involuntarily becomes a source of support for others. Even those who oppose them begin to respect them, because calmness wears down opponents faster than any aggression. The sixth habit, inconsistency and hesitation. No one can maintain respect if their words and actions lack consistency. The Stoics taught, "Be like a rock against which the waves break. It stands firm, and the sea only roars helplessly at its foot." But the habit of inconsistency turns a person into a reed, bending at every breath of wind. One day they are firmly convinced of one thing, the next they say the exact opposite, and the day after that they change sides again. It is impossible to respect such a person, because respect is nurtured by the belief that a person is reliable and that their word stands as firmly as a foundation. Inconsistency manifests itself on many levels. It can be small, when a person makes a promise and then immediately forgets it. It can be large, when they betray their own principles for the sake of self-interest or fear. Inconsistency stems from the same root, inner weakness, an unwillingness to take responsibility and firmly adhere to a chosen path. As a result, such a person constantly feels unsteady around them, and those around them gradually stop taking their words seriously. There's a profound truth here. Consistency is the foundation of all trust. If a person is firm in small matters, they'll be trusted with more. If they fluctuate with the times, no one will trust their word, no matter how sincere it may seem at the time. Respect is born not from perfection, but from consistency. A person can make mistakes, but if they're honest and true to themselves, respect for them persists even through their mistakes. Stoicism teaches us to make decisions based on reason, not momentary emotions. Reason gives clarity and consistency to actions, while emotions turn life into chaos. Today they push us toward one decision, tomorrow toward the exact opposite. Those who live by emotion are doomed to perpetual vacillation, and their fate will be like a rudderless ship in the midst of a storm. But those who stand on firm principles are able to move forward even against the storm, because they firmly know where they are heading. Inconsistency is especially destructive in personal relationships. When a person alternates between showing concern and cold indifference, warmth and then icy detachment, trust crumbles before our eyes. The person next to them begins to feel at the mercy of their fickle moods. And respect is simply impossible where there is no trust. That's why the habit of hesitation destroys respect even faster than overt weakness. The seventh habit, self-neglect. It's hard to expect respect from others if you don't respect yourself. The Stoics said, "You carry a temple within you, don't desecrate it." By this, they meant not only the body but also the spirit and the word. The habit of neglecting oneself is one of the most destructive precisely because it deprives a person of inner dignity. And if a person treats himself as secondary, incidental, insignificant, why should others treat him any differently? Neglect manifests itself in many forms. Some destroy their bodies with endless excesses, laziness, and bad habits. Some deliberately refuse to listen to their own true desires, living solely on the expectations of others. Some allow their boundaries to be violated time and again, putting up with unworthy treatment. All of this gradually but inexorably erodes respect, for people unmistakably sense that they are dealing with someone who is not their own master, who does not value what they have been given. Self-neglect is especially noticeable in words. When a person easily makes promises to themselves and immediately breaks them, they methodically erode their faith in their own strength. And respect begins precisely with this faith. A Stoic knows, if he decides to fast, he keeps it. If he decides to rise early, he does so scrupulously, because every fulfilled promise to oneself strengthens one's inner core, and every faithful word weakens it even further. Self-neglect is evident in even the smallest details, in careless speech, untidiness, a reluctance to take care of one's own health, and a habit of giving up at the first sign of difficulty. All of this creates the image of a person who lacks self-respect, which inevitably leads to the erosion of others' respect. After all, respect is always a mirror. People see how you treat yourself and begin to treat you in the same way. Imagine two people facing equally difficult circumstances. One begins to destroy themselves with self-pity, inaction, and self-destruction. The other maintains order even in small things, takes care of their body, maintains a clear mind, and refuses to allow circumstances to enslave them. Ultimately, it is the other person who is respected and sought out for advice. After all, they have demonstrated by their own example that respect begins with oneself. Conclusion: respect is not an ornament worn for special occasions, nor a position bestowed upon one. It is a state of mind that others can unmistakably detect without a word being spoken. It is born where firmness, discipline, and inner dignity thrive. But it also dies mercilessly where habits that destroy one from within take root in a person's character. We've analyzed 7 such habits, and each one is a small step toward losing respect. Complaining makes a person appear weak in the eyes of others, revealing their powerlessness in the face of circumstances. Unfulfilled promises turn words into empty words. Talkativeness robs speech of its power and weight. The pursuit of approval makes a person a slave to the crowd. A short temper betrays a lack of self-control. Inconsistency breeds mistrust. and self-neglect destroys the very roots of all authority. Together, these habits weave into an invisible web in which a person becomes entangled, often without even realizing it. After all, respect never vanishes instantly. But one morning comes when they suddenly realize their words are no longer listened to, their actions are no longer inspiring, and they are no longer taken seriously. And this is merely the natural consequence of habits they've been forgiving themselves for too long. Stoicism offers a different path. It teaches that respect shouldn't be sought. It should be earned day after day through small inner victories over oneself. Each new day is another opportunity to refrain from complaining, to keep one's word, to remain silent when others spout empty words, to remain true to oneself despite the opinions of others, to remain calm in the midst of a storm, to be consistent even in small things, and to treat oneself with genuine dignity. And if a person is capable of this, respect comes naturally of its own accord, for their inner order becomes visible in everything they do. The Stoics knew respect should never be an end in itself. The true goal should be self-respect, born of discipline and fortitude, and then the respect of others becomes merely its natural reflection. Therefore, the main lesson is both simple and harsh. Don't let petty habits destroy your inner core. It is from this that strength, trust, and respect grow, something that cannot be taken away or destroyed by any external circumstances. This is the true Stoic understanding of self-mastery. One who masters oneself has no need for recognition from others, because respect comes to them on its own, as naturally as light comes to a flame burning within.